All right, so we had the weigh-in for Patrick McCroy, Edgar Berlanga, but I'm not going to talk about that. We'll talk about that fight when it happens on Sunday morning. Eddie Hearn had Subriel Matias there. This is his first kind of interview slash event as a matchroom fighter. No longer working with PBC, signed and promoted by Eddie Hearn, matchroom fighting on the zone. Now, I said it before, I think that Eddie Hearn signing Matias is a fantastic move. It really is, because I think he is value for money. I think he's a very, very good fighter. He's a fighter who, to look at, most fighters would look and think, oh God, that is going to be an absolute, even if I win, it's going to be a fight that's going to take a lot out of me. It's going to be a hard night's work. This guy looks hard to beat, and I can imagine he is going to be hard to beat. Yes, I know he's already taken an L. A lot of people feel as though he should have actually got the nod in that fight. Nevertheless, he avenged it, stopped the guy in 9 rounds, turned him almost inside out with a left hook in the 9th round. I think it was the ringside doctor had to stop it. Subriel Matias is entertainment. He was interviewed, he spoke in his native language, he had someone there to translate it, and straight away he mentioned all the names at 140. He mentioned Teofimo Lopez, he mentioned Devin Haney. He said if Devin Haney stops running, he said he's going to knock Teofimo Lopez out. I had to laugh. He was like, Rowley, don't even mention him, because Rowley is just, lamb to the slaughter. Could you imagine Rowley versus even Teofimo Lopez? Could you imagine Rowley against Subriel Matias? Good Lord, that might not even go 4 or 5 rounds. That would be absolute lamb to the slaughter. He also, mentioned, Devin Haney, mentioned his down there, in a sentence. And I was just looking at this thinking, okay, Eddie Hearn potentially, I know Matias is in his early 30s now. In a weight division like 140, especially with his style, you may have another 4 or 5 years, if even, with Matias fighting the way he is now. But during that time, Eddie Hearn's going to have to make hay while the sun shines, because he has on his plate a potential star there. He seriously does. He's got a guy there who I don't think is afraid to go in there with anybody. I think against the likes of a Devin Haney, should he come through Ryan Garcia, I expect him to. But should he come through Ryan Garcia, him against Matias, if Devin Haney is not allowed to hold, that could be a really, really, really tough fight for Devin Haney, a really tough fight. Especially if he can't really hurt Matias, which he's shown to have a bit better power at 140, but, you never know. How good is, how far along was Prograis? You just have to ask those questions. That would be an entertaining fight. Liam Paro is a good fight. There's fights there at 140 that can help build his profile. And as well as that, if he does happen to take on a Teofimo Lopez, who obviously is promoted by Bob Arum, Eddie and Bob have done business together. If Ryan Garcia beats Devin Haney, stranger things have happened. I wouldn't necessarily be picking it, but you never know, stranger things have happened. There you go, it's in-house. Golden Boy, Eddie Hearn Matchroom, The Zone. There you go. He's got a lot to work with in Subriel Matias. And Subriel Matias as a whole, as a fighter, I love it when, you do a video and you talk about Matias. And listen, I know he's got flaws there as a fighter. Definitely he does. His defense is a little bit, you would worry about that, certainly at the highest level. You do kind of wonder, okay, if he loses that massive punch output and the power, you're going to have you might have a problem there. But as a whole, I think he's a tremendous fighter. And when you see people in the comments say, well, I never heard of this guy, I've seen your video, and it's like, I'm a fan. I had loads of people say that to me and reach out to me and say, I didn't realise who this guy was. You did a video on him, and now it's like, I gotta go watch this guy. Now I'm a fan. He's building that audience. He has a big following in his native Puerto Rico, and I think that the way he is, the way his style is, and the way, he doesn't do his interviews in English. He does them in Spanish. He has that section of the audience who understand him and they react to when he says something. And then when you hear it's almost like he's a bit of an enigma in that sense. And I think that, again, if promoted correctly, if Eddie Hearn really, and Eddie Hearn is a good promoter, there have been times where, you could look at him and you could say, could he have done a bit of a better job there? I think with Subriel Matias, while he has him the way he is now, he's going to have to work just as hard. Not that Matias can't be a star, he definitely can be, but he's going to have to work just hard because he has potential star on his hands here. I really do think that. I think Matias is absolutely fantastic. I really do. And I hope Eddie Hearn does some good work with him. If he does fight Liam Paro next, which is a very tough fight, because Liam Paro was no slouch, I would still make Matias favourite. But if you can get through him, a guy who, Eddie Hearn's been working with for a couple of fights now, if you can get through him, that 140 division, it's going to be interesting to see what Hearn does with him. I would imagine he's going to look to do Devin Haney, the Devin Haney Ryan Garcia winner, I should really say, because Ryan is still alive. He's going to probably look to do that. He might look at, bringing Pitbull. I say bringing Pitbull because Pitbull's beating Rowley. Pitbull's beating Rowley. May look to bring Pitbull over and see can he get that fight done. Or will they do Teofimo Lopez versus Subriel Matias? A lot of people feel as though Teofimo Lopez against that particular style, no question. I don't know. I don't necessarily know about that. I would look at Matias and think, okay, I'd probably make Lopez favourite, but that would be an interesting fight. And if it does turn into a firefight, who's going to come out on top? If it goes, rock'em sock'em robots, who would come out on top in that? So I think Eddie Hearn has himself a great signing, definitely. From what I've seen there and the little snippet I seen at the interview, I think Eddie Hearn is probably looking and thinking, you know what? I am happy I signed this guy. I made the right decision. And I think he did, quite frankly. I think Matias, again, can't speak any more highly of him. I hope to God that this video can actually reach out to a few people and they can actually be like, oh, I hadn't heard of this guy. People mention him. Have a look. Have a look at this guy fighting. Have a look at some of his full fights. Because this guy is just, honestly, all action. I made a video of him a couple of months ago when I said he is a very bad man. And he definitely is a very, very bad man. That's Subriel Matias. I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on this signing from Matchroom. Do you think that Eddie Hearn has cashed in on a potential star there? Or do you think that, he's hype. He's going to flop and Eddie Hearn is going to be like, I could have spent that money differently. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed it. Smash the like button if you could. And subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. And for now, I will leave it. Peace.